Good evening, everyone. We've got a big hour ahead, including disturbing new details about Donald Trump's perverse worldview. I mean, what can you say about a man who reportedly told his chief of staff Hitler did a lot of good things? Plus, a Republican congressman openly admits it. He wants nothing but chaos for the next 18 months. Anything to keep President Biden from notching any victories. And in a little while, I'll speak with Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg as President Biden makes his big push for his agenda in a conservative district. But we begin the readout tonight with the insidious underbelly of the GQP culture war. Right now, in this summer before the next round of elections, Democrats across the country are preparing to run as they would normally run. But whether they realize it or not, they are running headlong into a cultural wood chipper. Because Republicans aren't running an election. They're waging an all-out war for power that increasingly is based on and steeped in the Trump cult and even white nationalism. And no matter how reckless and dangerous that is, they're doing it believing it will move white voters. Look no further than the ongoing hysteria over race-conscious education, what they are shamelessly and falsely misrepresenting as critical race theory. Radicalized parent activists across the country are targeting school boards with behind-the-scenes help from conservative groups. Protesters are swarming those meetings, vowing to revolt against a curriculum they've labeled unacceptable and reverse racist. And leading the charge in this fight is, you guessed it, right-wing media. Yesterday, Fox News mentioned critical race theory more than 100 times before 2 p.m., I should say. And then there's Fox's fear-mongering standard bearer, Tuckums, who went full 1984, denouncing what he called the greatest threat to our society.
It's civilization-ending poison. But it's everywhere. How widespread is it? Well, we can't really be sure until we finally get cameras in the classroom as we put them on the chests of police officers.
Civilization-ending poison. Okay, the common denominator is an attempt to reverse something Joe Biden pulled off last year. According to Pew Research Center analysis, in addition to overwhelmingly winning voters of color, Biden ate into the ex-president's support among white voters, particularly white suburban voters, reducing Trump's 2016 margin by 12%. So the goal now is to terrify those white voters into voting for a party that is offering nothing on policy. Zip, zero, nothing. By zeroing in on the amygdala of white suburbanites and scaring the hell out of them. That black Americans are conspiring to pollute their precious children's minds with dangerous knowledge and then turn them into woke future Democrats. And in the wake of the disgraced, twice impeached president's defeat, that hysteria over the perceived encroachment of race-conscious education is being exploited by another insidious force, followers of QAnon, who are now using the battle cry to similarly target school boards, with many who have espoused QAnon's theories now melding their own conspiracies with the lies about critical race theory. With me now is NBC News senior reporter Ben Collins. Ben, please explain this nexus now between this fake version of critical race theory that is freaking people out at school boards and QAnon.
Yeah, sure. So the last year, people have presented basically a laundry list to try to get people on school boards, off school boards. And, you know, at the very beginning of last year, it was about masks generally, mask mandates, getting people riled up about the fact they can't get their kids back to school, or once their kids are back in school, they're going to be wearing masks. And a lot of them were using junk science they found, on Facebook or whatever. And, that had legs for a long time. But then in, the last 3 or 4 months, critical race theory is added to this. And a lot of the people who were there for mask stuff then got their, they just added something to it. They added critical race theory stuff to it as well. They were like, hey, if we can get this person off a school board, get one of our own onto this school board, it doesn't really matter to me if we're adding another talk about race to this thing. We really just want the masks over with. And that happens, by the way, vice versa. Some people are there to talk about critical race theory, and then they end up really angry about masks. And what we've seen recently is QAnon followers as well going to these meetings, seeing this big public spectacle. Some of these things are on YouTube, so they can go up there and give these big speeches about the cabal or something. And they can say, hey, we need to rile people up. We need to get people ready to take over these school boards over the next year. They'll post that, by the way, on their Instagram later on. But that's the point. They are using Michael Flynn's rallying cry to take over the school boards, run for school board, run for public office, he said. He said, we need to get involved in the education of our children. And right now, on the top of the biggest QAnon message board, that's what you'll see. You'll see that quote from Mike Flynn saying, run for school board.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is that sort of the through line here is to say that essentially white America's children are being polluted, their minds, their bodies, by the woke mob, by the left, by the multicultural party, and that's a threat. It sounds very much like the Reconstruction era when like the black and tan Republicans were a threat because they were this multiracial coalition that was polluting the minds and bodies of white women and children. It's very 1860s. There's this other headline that we have now that the FBI actually managed to, I guess, sort of infiltrate this Bible study group that then became a cover for violent militia plans. Here's the story. Northern Virginia's Lee Duong is accused of building up a supply of explosive. He and others held Bible studies where they discussed firearms and other training. The FBI infiltrated his militia after he interacted with undercover police on January 6th. And at the time of his arrest, he'd several guns and materials to make 50 Molotov cocktails. Apparently he had an AK-47. Can you talk about the nexus here with evangelical Christians? Because that seems to be the target group for both QAnon and for these other militias types.
Yeah, specifically with QAnon, people find QAnon because they are, they're tied up in specific things like Bible groups, maybe, and they move over from there. And by the way, they borrow nomenclature. For example, the Great Awakening, which is the big QAnon thing. That's what a lot of QAnon people thought January 6th was, right? Where everyone would wake up to the fact that there was this cabal of elites and all this stuff. That's not just a QAnon phrase. That's from evangelical Christianity over the last 20, 30 years. They work symbiotically. That doesn't mean evangelical Christians are QAnon people at all. But it does mean that QAnon people use the cloak of evangelical Christianity as a way to try to, mask this as a benevolent movement. But it's effectively a terror movement.